Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare
Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama
Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare
Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama
Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare 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 Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Rama Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Ram. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Rama Rama, Hare Hare Krishna, everyone. Welcome to the home program at Rasik Krishna and Rasika Radhika Mataji's home. We have a special guest visiting us today. His name is Bhakti Vasudev Maharaj, His Holiness Bhakti Vasudev Maharaj. Maharaj is great scholar and he has a lot of academic qualifications. He preaches in academic circles and he's from Nigeria, if I'm not mistaken. Is that true, Maharaj? Nigeria.
Yeah, I was born in Nigeria.
Nigeria, yes. And he was influenced to Krishna consciousness by His Holiness Bhakti Tirtha Maharaj, who was teaching there. So he has come here and he is going to enlighten us. Do we have topic?
Yes, Bhagavad Gita.
We don't have your topic. Okay, so I think many people are new here. So speak accordingly. Okay, so we like to welcome Maharaj by loudly chanting Hari Bol 3 times. Hari Bol! Hari Bol! Hari Bol!
So thank you. I'm happy to be here. Who is about 6 months in connection with the devotees? You came to the movement for the past 6 months? Come and show by resume your hand. So I assume most of them are like 1 year, 2 years. 1 year ago. 2 years. Oh, you've been there. Why you saying me?
I think the number of rounds they are chanting.
Oh, okay.
No Brahmas like.
All right. So yeah, very much into the chanting. So okay, yeah. So maybe we can say some things about the need for us to take the chanting seriously. Okay. Come again at me around this year. Again, I'm going to so the time to Grande Sri Krishna Chaitanya, Nityananda, Sahavadata, Buddhadaya, Puspavata, Chitta Chandata, Jaya Sri Krishna Chaitanya, Prabhu Nityananda, Sri Advaita, Buddhadaya, Sri Gaur Bhakti. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Namam Vishnu Padaya, Krishna Pristaya Bhutale, Srimati Bhakti Vedanta, Swami Nityananda. Namaste, Saraswati Devi, Gauravani, Acharya, Nirvasisa, Samavadi, Pasakya. So, welcome everyone to this gathering. Uh, if you have some party and you send out invitations, those who come, the people who really love you, they make some sacrifices. They could go to they could have some excuses to say, I have this and that to do. And yeah, in America, everyone is busy, so we appreciate that. Especially this is a week, today is a weekday. You have a lot of obligations that you prefer to be here, so that's very much appreciated. Now, a number of people I've been talking around, like I was in Europe for 1 month. Earlier I was in in the Caribbean for 1 month in July, 1 month in August in Europe. And one of the things that I perceived or have seen is that some people, they have difficulty in chanting, or they don't see the chanting as an imperative factor in devotion service. The chanting is very important. In fact, the foundation of our movement was not even based on huge temples, but it was based on people coming together to chant. Lord Chaitanya inaugurated the Sankirtan movement. Lord Chaitanya is Krishna himself. Krishna wanted to have the taste of pure devotional service that Srimati Radharani, the Radhani Shakti personified, was relishing. He could not comprehend how Radha, who swung in ecstasy just by hearing his name. And so he wanted to also have a taste of that. That is the confidential reason that he came. And so Lord Chaitanya, he inaugurated, he founded this movement. What Prabhupada did was transplant this knowledge, this movement from the Indian subcontinent, from India to the West. So he established the International Society for Krishna Consciousness in New York. And the movement had there, it was inaugurated or established by Lord Krishna himself in the form of his devotee, Lord Chaitanya Prabhu. So Lord Chaitanya inaugurated the movement on the basis of Harinam Sankirtan. He wanted us to come together to chant. And that chanting basically is our Yuga Dharma. That is the religion for us that enables us to attain Krishna Prema in this Kali Yuga very easily. Yes, there are other processes for attaining pure love for Krishna, but in Kali Yuga we are deficient of a number of factors. We don't have the luxury of living on this planet for a long time. We don't have also the luxury of high attention span. For instance, we can't sit in a place and concentrate for more than 2 hours. So Lord Chaitanya wanted to make things easy for us. That he established this Yuga Dharma, and that is the congregational chanting. So sometimes people don't know what they are doing when they come together to chant. You have to say, well, the environment is purified. That is beyond the environment being purified. Experiments have been conducted. I remember in 1990, some researchers conducted an experiment in Washington, D.C. to see the effect of chanting mantras on crime wave. And that was a quantitative research. The quantitative research is a research result that is generalizable. It is true in America, it's true in India, it's true in Africa, it's true in Europe. That the substantiality of quantitative research. And they conducted that experiment before they started the chanting. They checked with the DC crime diary. And because they were doing the chanting in the DC area, they checked the crime diary with the police, with the Department of Crimes. And they had that recorded. So the period, they did a protracted chanting of mantras, public chanting. And then they checked also after they finished the chanting for days. When they finished, they checked also with the crime diary. And then they found that during the period that the chanting was being conducted publicly, the crime wave, the crime rate in that very vicinity, the whole of that district, plummeted. So sometimes we say, when we chant, the environment is purified. Someone may ask, what's the proof? That's a proof. Because purity and a pure environment and crime, they go ill together. They go at opposite polarities. So the chanting basically helps not only purify our existence, purify our mind and our senses, but the chanting also does help in doing the most wonderful service to humanity by mitigating crimes. When Srila Prabhupada was in Chicago, sometime when he was on planet, he went to Chicago, and a cop accosted him. He said, Swamiji, so what can your movement do to reduce crime? So Prabhupada said, if people chant, crime will go down. Of course, that is not difficult for any devotee to understand, but for the non-devotees, what are you going to prove to them? Say they are not religious people. And they tell you, well, I have my own religion, so I cannot chant your mantras. And then the point is, what Prabhupada said was scientifically proven by those scientists. That the crime wave will go down. I did my own experiment, being inspired by Prabhupada's statement. I did qualitative phenomenological study using this very conceptualization of the chanting, how it helps in preventing financial fraud in finance industry. I did our research in 2021. I had it presented at the World Academy of Science, Engineering and Technology in London on June 28. And it was all about what the Hare Krishna mantra does in reducing financial fraud. And these are people that, because my field is in management, my PhD is in management science, so I'm not even in religion, so the people I'm talking with, they are not from religious background. Most of them are like agnostics or atheists. Then you can't go and tell them Krishna is to Bhagavan Swayam. But you wonder what happened? That presentation received an award I was shocked because these are people who are, ordinarily speaking, they are not religious people. They are management scientists. They received an award, the Best Presentation Award, and it was published in the International Journal of Mechanical and Industrial Engineering, just to fulfill Prabhupada's words that this chanting helps to reduce crime. So even in financial fraud, I have my own research done, taking inspiration from Prabhupada's conversation with the cop in Chicago. So the chanting is very important for us. There are so many research studies that have been conducted on this very mantra we are chanting. If people in general in the movement may not know, and as scholars, we follow up with everything. I remember the very last one that was published about insomnia. One of my mentees from IIT Kharagpur, he sent the link to me. He said, Maharaj, she saw some scientists in IIT Kharagpur, they've just published a research paper on how chanting mitigates insomnia. These are Indian professors. So, yeah, these are scientific experiments. So sometimes we are doing something and we don't seem to understand, or we may not know the scientific value of what we are doing. Yes, we do it with the understanding that Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. We chant, become purified, and get out from this prison of material existence. But there are concomitant factors that come with that premonition. Our idea, we want to chant, become purified, attain Krishna prema, but in the process of doing that, in the process of prosecuting our cause, our devotional cause, there are a lot of other things that are concomitant factors. In allopathic interventions or allopathic medications, majority of the medications, they have side effects. Talk about chemotherapy or whatever, they have side effects. They do a particular thing, attack a particular disease, help you with a particular situation, but they have side effects. That is the default of interventions. Side effects would be there, especially when you do it too much. You take it, even ordinary painkillers. You take it too much, it affects your liver. Therefore, the doctors would also recommend prescribe medicine within metacognitive time frame. 1 week, you take this medicine. 2 in the morning, 2 in the afternoon, 2 in the evening. You don't go behind and then you start continue to take that painkiller because it will harm you. In fact, one of my mentee's father in India, in Delhi, he died because of painkiller. The doctor prescribed some medicine for him. It was helpful to him. And even after the expiration of the period, he continued taking it. And then he wiped up his liver. So my point is, interventions, they have side effects. Our chanting is also an intervention, but it is a spiritual intervention. Papa left behind a number of interventions. For instance, diet therapeutic intervention. He told us to take just vegetarian diet, and if you're taking only vegetarian diet, that is also an intervention. Again, scientists have come up with results that people who are vegetarians, they very quickly recover from their illnesses. They're not passionate. They are tolerant. So talking about chanting, it's important for us to understand why we need to chant and the side effects. The side effects in this case are good ones. For instance, mitigation or reducing insomnia. Isn't that a good side effect? beyond even that, even dementia, the chanting, some researchers have come up with results that chanting helps to minimize the vulnerability of the chanter to dementia. So yeah. So we also chant. And we should also understand these good side effects so that we don't feel sluggish to chant. So that we don't chant because we've taken a vow, we have to chant 16 rounds. I mean that becomes like a duty. Okay? How to go to work because I've signed up for it. That's duty. You don't necessarily love work, but you do it. At some point in time, you get attached to the work, and the day even you're sick, you don't go, you feel very bad because you have created some relationships in the office. The work becomes part of your life. But it's not just the work, it is the people there. And so, there's a need for us to understand. Okay, I'll give you a gross example. Suppose you have a 6 years old who tells you, I'm not chanting. What are you going to do? This is America, you cannot carry a cane and say, hey, you don't chant. Okay, so traditionally you tell the child, chant and be happy. They go in, chant and be happy. And then Govin says, Mom, Mommy, I'm happy. What will you do? You know, I know one boy, my friend's son, he just frustrated him and the wife. You know, this boy, he told the parents, 6 years old, he told the parents that they should count him out for college. He's not going to any college. And the parents, they couldn't convince him to go to college. But he already built up that, that frame of mind that he's not going to any college. So then the parents told me, especially the mother was completely like, and this is the only child, okay? and both of them are IT engineer. And the child has declared to them he's not going to any college. So they were in anxiety. Now, I was with them for like 8 days when I went to that state. And they said I should help to speak to the boy. I said, I will do that, but I'm not going to talk to him as an authority. I'll try to create some relationship with him. Between the period I'm here, I'll try to create a relationship with him, and then I'll raise the issue one day. I'll come back to the chanting. I just wanted to show how the kids also, they could be resistant even to chanting. You tell the child, chant and be happy. He says, I'm happy, I'm not going to. There's no need to chant. And then you say, oh, we are prisoners in this world. I mean, see how we are suffering. He said, Mommy, I'm not suffering. So I tried to be friendly with this boy, a 6-year-old boy. And then one day we were having a chat. I was eating and he was eating by me. So we're having a chat, and then I asked him such and such. So, do you like this, your big house? He said yes. I said he likes it. So I asked him whether he knew how his parents got a house. He said no. He didn't know. So I told him that, they went to college and they became big time engineers. When they graduated, they got good jobs. Then they saved money and bought this big house for you. You like this house now? He said yes. Would you like to go to college? He said yes. So sometimes parents also face children that they tell them, no, I'm not chanting. So we, especially kids, get this understanding Because majority of people have kids without understanding the psychology of children. And so we just, process the issue, navigate through the whole affair based on maybe how our parents groomed us. But our parents groomed us based on a particular cultural value. And this is America, the culture is a little bit different, especially the children born here. Whether you're from India, you have your child was born here, the environment here impacts on that child according to the field theory, the German psychology called Lewin, Professor Lewin, he developed the field theory in 1938, which stipulates that the environment impacts on behavior. And so the child was conceived, they are born here, is not an Indian child. He does not have that impact of the Indian environment, right from conception. And so if you have to only adopt Indian values in grooming the child, you will have some conflict at some point in time. Get these points clear. I have a friend, a wife is a PhD, himself is a PhD. They are in some trouble now. They left US and went to India because of the kids' schooling. But the fourth child put them in trouble. For something they never had taught us. So the child will say, I will not chant. You advocate, chant and be happy. We are prisoners. And it defeats you in all these arguments. What are you going to do? Yes, tell me, if your child defeats you in all these arguments, what is your next advocation? You say, chant and be happy. It defeats you, he's happy. Chant so that he can get out from this prison. He defeats you, I'm not a prisoner. In what way are you going to convince that child? So, the good news is that the chanting also, one of the positive side effects of the chanting is also that it promotes high grades in college, high grades in school. How is that? Researchers have come up with results in their studies to show that the chanting helps in promoting attention span. You need high attention span to be able to concentrate for a long time. If even you're a professional, you need high attention span. And for students, they need high attention span to be able to excel in their studies. And so this study was targeted purely on academics or those in the field of education. Not only that, researchers also have come up with results that the chanting helps to promote high cognitive skills, direct high cognitive skills, high retentive memory, and better concentration in academic work. So the person who is chanting, a child who is chanting 16 rounds, excels better than the child who doesn't in college. And I conducted my own research some years ago with undergraduate students who are chanting, we are involved in chanting. We compare their grades with when the period they started chanting and they continued to chant, and vice versa, the time they were not chanting. The grades were higher during the period that they became devotees involved in chanting. So I think this is something that especially the young kids need to understand. I have a practical example of my own case. See, when I was doing my PhD, my good mother instructed me to go do a PhD before I left the planet. So when I was doing my PhD, I did my PhD in management science, applied management and decisions at Walden, Minneapolis. And there was a required course you have to do before you go in to do your dissertation. And that required course is statistics. is titled. It was titled Quantitative Reasoning and Analysis, and it's pure PhD level statistics. And I left statistics several years ago. We had 10 students, 10 PhD students in that class. All the students failed for that batch. All the students. I was the only person who passed that course. And I got 90 plus. So the professor, a Caucasian, he fell in love with me. He thought, a black dude? So I've seen that transformation in my own life, and a number of the researches that have been conducted just shows that the kids in our movement, they need to understand the scientific value of chanting regarding how it promotes their educational career. Because the tendency is for anybody to tell you that, or anybody who is schooling, and I know of some kids like that in DC, right from their childhood, they convince the parents that, of course, the parents never went to college. Right from childhood, they convince the parents that they're busy with homework and all these things, they can't chant, and they never chanted until now they're in college. Yeah. The danger about that is that it's very unlikely, if it is maybe by great exceptional mercy of Krishna, but otherwise by one's personal efforts, it is very unlikely. The probability of that child going into college and coming out clean is 1 infinity. That means most unlikely. Because environment on college campus is all about sinful energies impacting on the students. So whether you have a good will, a good intentions, your good intentions alone are not going to matter much, because the environment impacts on human values. If you wear, say, 5 thick jackets and go into a cold room, stay there for maybe 20 minutes, just 20 minutes, you will find the cold penetrates into your skin. You're protected. But because you're in that environment, the environment impacts on values. And therefore, we're preparing to send our children to college. We need to understand that they are going to a war front. And if the children are not properly equipped with the ammunitions, the bulletproofs, and they go, it's like, say a soldier, a military guy, tells the family or tells the wife that, hey darling, see you soon. But he's going to the war front with a swimming pants suit. The wife would just say, that's a joke. Oh yeah? You need to put on your bulletproof and everything, helmet, ammunition, fully equipped. So, we are in a situation, we're in a predicament in the material world. And therefore, we need to understand how the mantra. See, even for the Paramahamsas, if they stop chanting for just 1 month, it's a different scenario. Completely different scenario. Sometimes people say, I've been chanting all these years, and I have this, my mind is still doing this. I think the mantra is not working. I used to advise them, okay, you want to see the difference? All right, just stop chanting for 1 week. You've been chanting for 2 decades and you're complaining. You've been chanting for 1 decade and you're complaining. All right, stop chanting for 10 days and see the difference in your consciousness. And then they say, Oh, Maharaj, why you give me this type of bad advice? Well, I want to experiment and see. So the chanting is very important for us. Please, ladies and gentlemen, it's very important for us. And for us to also appreciate the value of what Prabhupada has given to us. You see, look at what did Prabhupada do? He came to America, he came to New York, not with millions of dollars. He had no support. The only weapon he had was the Holy Name. That was the only weapon he had. And with that weapon, he was able to get so many followers and establish so many temples all over the world. His weapon was the Hare Krishna Mahamantra. A number of the Goswamis and the Paramahamsas we have in our movement were hippies. Yes. Really planting the seed. You see the set of people, the first set of people who came to meet Prabhupada. They're mostly hippies. They became transformed. In our own movement, we can see that. And so we should take the chanting seriously. Now, one other aspect of the chanting is what people are really like afraid of dealing with. People who have this challenge, they are stigmatized. Mental health, bipolar, depression, stress, anxiety. These are all mental health challenges. You know what? Over 160 million people in America have challenges of mental health. Over 160 million people, over half the population of America have mental health problems. The problem is, it's been stigmatized, and some people they can't even go to see a health care provider. So, the mantra helps to mitigate mental health challenges. One devotee who conducted his research in 1990, he did his dissertation on the effect of chanting the Hare Krishna mantra on stress, anxiety, and the gunas. I think stress, anxiety, depression, and the gunas. You could Google that up. Effect of chanting Hare Krishna mantra on stress and depression and the gunas. Yes, that was a white devotee who conducted his research on that. Now he has an establishment now. He did social work, and he teaches people who come for his consultations. His organization teaches people just the chanting as an intervention in dealing with mental health challenges. So experiments have been conducted, and not only him, a number of other researchers have come up with research results showing how the chanting of the Hare Krishna mantra helps in mitigating mental health challenges such as stress, anxiety, depression. So we have a very wonderful tool, a wonderful strategy, a wonderful intervention for societal transformation. But for us to give this out, we should first take it. Then we can have the courage to be able to distribute it. And so we all should understand that Prabhupada left the comfort or rather Damodar temple in Vrindavan, and came to America to spread this mission. And what was the mission, or what is the mission? This chanting of the Hare Krishna mantra. When we are initiated, we take a vow to chant 16 rounds. Before we take initiation, we prepare by chanting 16 rounds every day. But it's not just a duty. I've been doing it for 40 years. I have the qualification that most people don't even have outside there. I'm stupid to be doing this for 40 years. Yeah. So, here is a weapon to be able to use in convincing convincing our words when they give some excuses not to chant. If the chanting helps to promote grades in school, in colleges, what would be the excuse of the student not to chant? I remember in Calcutta, I had a husband and wife who were also aspiring for me, and they had two kids. One of them is a boy, the girl, the younger one. She's doing a PhD in quantum mechanics. She was not chanting at the time, but then we had a program at their home. She happened to have flew in from the city where she's doing PhD to visit the parents. So she was there in the program like this. So during the question and answers, as a scientist, she asked Maharaj, what is India in the chanting? If I have to chant, I need to know what is India for me, So the non-devotees are also like the children. The children, you ask them to do something, if they don't ask you, it's just out of respect. You ask a child to do something, the thought is, what is in there for me? What am I going to gain from doing it? So, then I explain all of the scientific basis, and then the next moment I heard from the father, she started chanting. People want to understand. So initially, when they say you chant purely, but if we don't desire anything, we don't chant purely. We are in the beginning of the chanting, we chant with offenses, inauthentic, and all this stuff. So once we start the process, it is a process. And so we go from the offensive stage to the declarative stage, and then to ruchi, to bhava, and then ultimately to prema. But we have to start from somewhere. The chanting is the basis of our Krishna consciousness. I like telling the story of my friend in Detroit. He told me a story. When he joined, he was chanting 8 rounds, but he was very actively involved in so many services in the temple. So he went to marry, he bought a house, he's 90 gun, he got masters. After working some years, he bought a house. He went to India, got married. The lady was from Hindu background, vegetarian, but she was not coming from Vaishnava background. So she was not chanting. Her interest mainly was on reading Indian newspapers late into the night. So the husband, who regularly persuade her, preach to her to chant and all those things. And then sometimes she considered that, well, this is my husband, for better or for worse, and what he's doing is great for the family. There's no loss. I think my mind is just, making me crazy not to do the chant. Sometimes people have good intentions, but, they can't chant. Some people even like it. I remember also one of my friend, the wife is a scientist. Wife develops. Wife has a PhD. That's in New Jersey. The wife has a PhD and develops some intervention for curing a particular type of cancer. So they work in the same hospital. He works in administration. They work. The wife is a clinician there. The wife is a physician. So then, the wife is already initiated. She got initiated some few years back ago. And her anxiety is the husband, because the husband, he supports her in everything, but he doesn't chant. So then, she invited me to their home. So I worked with them for like 3 days. And then before I left, she came complaining about the husband, what's he going to do and all these things. I said, see, Mataji, just maintain your peace. Have your patience. Your husband is a devotee. It's just that he is not chanting now doesn't mean that he is not a devotee. He's a devotee. Why? I concluded that when he picked me up from the home I was staying in upstate New York, I was thinking 45 minutes drive. Oh, I'm going to chant like 9 rounds or 10 rounds. But no. Right from the period I boarded the car, is questions, One question after the other, one question after the other. We discussed all through the 45 hours journey. And I have no regret for it. I was just so much enlivened by his inquiries. And he personally told me, look, I like everything that my wife is doing. I like the chanting. It's just that I have not gotten that emotional courage to pick up beats and start chanting. I said, don't worry, you're on track. So when the wife didn't know about this conversation, so then when she was complaining, so I told her, hey, hold your peace. Your husband is a devotee. Sometimes we push people and they may come to start the chanting and they excel more than we do. But then the important thing is to encourage people to chant by our exemplary standard. Another thing, we get upset when people around us don't chant. We should exercise some patience. You see, not everybody goes to graduate school. For majority of people, when they finish their first degree, they hurry up to go and get jobs, work, get money, build house, get a house, marry, settle down. Some people, before even they graduate, they already sign up for college, for graduate school. So Prabhupada said this Krishna consciousness is like it's a graduate program in religiosity. And therefore, we should be patient with people around us who are not chanting and try to persuade them to chant. Persuasion is different from coercion. Persuasion, you have to have all this information that I just gave about the scientific basis of the chanting. These are persuasion tools for you to convince anybody. Whether your child, whether someone in the family who is not interested in chanting. Not everyone is interested in you just telling them Krishna's two Bhagavan Swayam and then, they jump in. Yeah. So we should take the chanting seriously because the chanting is very self-transformative and it helps also in transforming the environment, mitigates all types of negative waves of crime, unethical values, unethical vibrations, and plus it protects you from the impact of the illusory energy. If you're chanting, also you develop better ways of responding to situations. Sometimes we think because we are parents, it is our right to just chastise the child if they do something wrong. But what did Krishna say in the Gita? He said, Tanti Tiksha Bharata. If we are chanting, we have to develop some, modified character. One of the symptoms of chanting is character development. The primary symptom of someone is chanting and he has no developed character. What type of chanting is he doing? If there is no positive, personal transformation, no positive change in their lives in terms of their values, in terms of the way they respond to situations. So the chanting helps to help us. It helps us in our even in our social development, in our family development. Because you say if you're a married person, your spouse is bound to say something nasty to you one day. One day. And then when they say something that you don't like, then you burst into flames. And then your child sees you doing that, burst into flames, and then you want to convince the child to say, by telling them, chant and be happy, Daddy, but you're not happy. Yeah, so we have to watch our emotions, That's why we need to chant at a particular time, especially during the Brahma Muhurta hours. It's best, even scientists have come out with reports, that the best innovative period of the day for high productivity and performance is during the early morning hours of the day. That is corresponding to our Brahma Muhurta hours. So you want to chant, we try doing the chanting during the Brahma Muhurta hours. It means we need to go to bed on time so that we can wake up at 4 o'clock to do the chanting. How many people are chanting 16 rounds here every day? Chanting 16 rounds, raise up your hand. Boy, you chant 16 rounds. Woo! Thank you. So, yeah, thank you. So many of you are chanting 16 rounds, which is good. In one of the communities I went right here when I came back from Europe, the president was complaining bitterly about a Bhakti Vriksha group that they even want to shut it down because the people are not interested in chanting. And they've been coming for years. So many of you are chanting. Chanting is infectious, it's contagious. So when many people are chanting, then it helps, gives other people emotional courage, a sense of motivation and inspiration to chant. So the chanting is very important for our family lives too, because when you're chanting, one of the symptoms or one of the side benefits is that you are able to control your emotions. And people are bound to poke us. Whether in the family or in the office, someone will poke you. And if you're chanting, you have that resistance to fall prey to that temptation. Any comments or questions? Yes.
Smart, you were saying that how chanting helps you get better grades and prevents.
But it's not the purpose of the chanting. The purpose of the chanting is Krishna Prema Puma to Maha.
And that is something you can tell your children.
Yeah.
So that they can feel enthused to chant.
Yeah.
Instead of saying that it will make you
chant and be happy.
go back to God.
Yeah, but if you say, okay, there's enjoyment in the spiritual world, they are seeing enjoyment here. They live in a big house and, they have nice bicycles, they ride all over the place. And you're telling them, what are you telling them about spiritual world? This is their spiritual world.
So what would you say if they say, Well, my fellow mates are not chanting and they're getting good grades. So they can come up with a thing like that. That
Yeah.
they're not chanting, but they're also getting good grades.
Yeah.
They're also becoming successful in their material life.
Yeah.
Right? So
But even those people, if they chant, their grades will be higher.
It's like a control.
Uh-huh.
Two people with same aptitude,
Yeah.
one chanting is high.
Right. So experiments are being conducted. It's not that people need to be dull before they, people need to be dull before they chant. It's not that. No, if even you are a high-tech professor and then you start chanting, your research values improve. You have better argument in terms of what you do. I remember in my when I was younger, so I was researching and publishing so prolifically as one of my editors, was editor in charge of one journal that I used to publish. He said, "Oh, I know your secret. I know your secret." He said, "All right." He would not also go home. He would stay in the office and just write. So I said, "All right, try it." But then on Monday, the next week when we met, he said, "Oh, I was in the office. I'm trying to stay behind and stay and read and write. But my wife came and chased me out and said, 'Come home quickly.'" But then, there are people that are doing amazing things. If they chant, they do better. Yeah. They chant, they do better. They chant, they have better courage, emotional courage in their determinations too. Because in most cases, people are just fearful of every decision they want to make. They're afraid of making even a decision that will be beneficial to them in the future. So that is because of the, unruly mind. But then by chanting, in the most prolific scholars, they become better. Yeah. Any other comments or questions? Yes, please.
There is one of the offenses to holiday to give some mundane interpretation. If we talking about some mundane benefit of the Mahamantra, is not offensive.
No, but this is not mundane in that sense, because if we are saying the goal of the chanting is to attain high attention span, that is mundane interpretation of the holy name. We are talking about the scientific values of the positive side effects. We're talking about the positive side effects. Any intervention you embark on has some side effect. This is a spiritual intervention. It also has side effects. And the side effects are all good. We say chant and be happy. Being happy, it is a mental health status. It's good mental health. If you're not happy, you're going to be depressed. That is a mental health challenge. So we also say chant and be happy. That's our slogan. Okay? We don't say you're giving mundane interpretation to the holy name. We are talking about science-based positive side effects of the holy names. And we are saying, see, the purpose of this chanting is to attain pure love for divinity, pure love for God. Krishna Prema Pumato Man. But here are the side effects. Okay? Here are the good side effects. So yes, you are pursuing this. This is not what you are pursuing. You are pursuing this. You want to attain pure love for Krishna. But these are some of the things that come along. Just follow you, Bhima Thakur says, if you become a pure devotee of the Lord, then liberation is begging you. Please, let me be of service to you. Some gratification is begging you. Please, let me be of service to you. That's not what you're looking for. But they just can't beg it. They are called concomitant factors or positive side effects. Yeah. Any other comments or questions? Yes, please.
Hare Krishna Maharaj.
Okay.
This question is follow-up to Prem Singh Prabhu's question. So you are right that if they chant, they get whatever grades they're getting, they get better grades. But the challenge that many communities face is, like say, my son is like a teenager, like being in high school, and his average GPA is like 3.5, and then he sees other kids who are eating meat, who are having so much sense gratification, who are not chanting, but they're getting 4.0, and they're getting into Ivy League colleges. So when I say my child, you chant, you get better grades, I'm like, he's not chanting, he's eating meat,
Yeah.
he's having sense gratification. So he's getting grades,
Mhm.
why should I chant?
Yeah.
So
Now,
how should we convince the youth,
yeah.
especially?
Now, here's the difference. You are telling them chant and get better grades, but that is not the purpose of the chanting. The purpose of the chanting is Krishna Prema Pumatoma. If you miss the element of the scientific values that come with chanting, then you're preaching that the purpose of the chanting is to get high grades. Now, if the child understands that it's just a side effect, but about the main goal, and if even the child comes and says that, what about this person? He's not chanting, he has 4.0 GPA. Okay. Do we say that the devotees are more handsome than every other person out there? Our devotees are more handsome than every other person out there? Our devotees are the most skillful musicians. I've not seen any devotee in this movement having a private jet plane without going to college. Musicians, the other celebrities, one of them is just behind bars now. He's facing his music for sex trafficking and all the other stuff. Most of them, they didn't go to college. Some of them even didn't finish high school. But they're billionaires. So one could say, well, I don't need to go to school. Look at that guy. He didn't even finish high school. He has a private jet. So people have different bearings of their retributive justice. People have different bearings of what they are bearing on their wave of requital epistemology. Our faces are not the same. We are not born into the same circumstances. Look, a child, Obama child is chanting Hare Krishna? No. Baron, Trump's last born, is he chanting Hare Krishna? No. But he's in opulence. He's already a billionaire. So if we look at what people have, and then we want to use the holy name as a weapon to be able to tell people, well, you chant and you also be like this, but be like this. Then the person will say, well, the person is not chanting, this person is not chanting, this person is not chanting. So we need to explain, we need to have that patience of explaining logically a form of persuasion, not just trying to convince or coerce a child into chanting. That's the difference. Persuasion is a skill. You need to have that skill to be able to logically. I just gave you an example of this boy, 26 years old, who told the parents he's not going to go to college. You know, his idea is that going to college is just going to give me a means of eating. I will just help the devotees in the kitchen, serve, cook with them, and then when they finish, I will eat. So why do I need to go and suffer for many years in college just to be able to get food? But someone has to go beyond that point of view of his perception of college beyond just eating. To explain that, listen, if you go and do this and this, then you can live a better life. Not just eating. So the chanting is not just for acquiring high grades, but then for attaining pure love for Krishna. The high grade, high attention span, high cognitive skill, they are just positive side effects. So if we use that as a bait, it will not work for more children, because first, we are not doing the right thing. We need to explain the essence of the chanting, and then also give in the positive side effects that we're talking about now. And any intelligent child will catch up with that. This chanting is for a higher goal. Those kids who are even higher, having 4.0, have they attained Prema, Krishna Prema? Most of them, they come out, they get good jobs, and they end up in jail. I know people in America, real qualified people, really qualified. I know even justices, chief justices in America who went to jail. Who went to jail? As a researcher, perhaps I know better than most people. So having high grades alone does not save the individual from the calamities of material existence. See, Strauss-Kahn, the 10th director for International Monetary Fund, he went to one of the best schools in France, had Parker grade. Parker grade. He finished and he was working. Later he got his job to be director for International Monetary Fund. You know how he left the job? Not only leaving the job, not that he resigned from the job, they kick him out. They throw him into jail. Some of you must have, if you have been conversant with current news, you had some years ago how this Strauss-Kahn, he went to one of the best schools, the best grades. He got his best job, director for International Monetary Fund. But the best school, the best grade, the best job did not protect him from going to jail. He came to New York and he committed some type of stuff. He was lodging in a hotel. Then they alleged he ran after a maid. A maid. He had a beautiful wife in France. Hotel maid. That's how he was apprehended. At the time, he had his daughter schooling in one of the Ivy Leagues in the East Coast here, I think in New York. What a disgrace to the girl. He was arrested, indicted, prosecuted, found guilty, thrown into jail. That's how he lost his job. With all of the high grades, with all of the best schools in France that he attended. So yeah, we need to give the fundamentals, also give them the objective criteria on the chanting. It's what basically we call persuasion. Persuasion is not a straight jacket talk. It's a talk that is based on logic, reasoning, facts, and figures, data. Then the person will listen to you. Mataji, does it serve some purpose?
I'm just asking because when people do youth preaching in college,
Sure.
even our community kids, when they come to the stage, youthful stage, then they started comparing with their peers.
Yeah.
And then they say, he's doing everything, but I'm getting this grade, he's getting that grade, so the comparison will come.
Yeah.
So, but as you mentioned, it's character development,
Uh-huh.
the purpose and the meaning of chanting. As we guide them, they are understanding.
Sure. Other words. So, okay, Mataji.
So how do you increase the rounds for chanting?
The rounds.
What's the trick?
What is the trick? Good question. Yeah, first of all, we have to regulate ourselves. We need to go to bed on time. So we go to bed at 9 o'clock or 9:30. Why? Because from 10 o'clock to 12 in the night, those are the best hours for rejuvenating our bodies. The day we work so hard, we got exhausted. And if we don't go to bed on time, we miss those 2 hours, it could be a problem. The next day, we will not be able to get up on time. And this, see, when I was in high school, in fact, when I came to ISKCON, I thought in the ashram, going to bed at 9:30, waking up at 2 o'clock. I thought, I did this in high school when I was in a boarding house. Yeah, as a teenager, I did this in high school. This is nothing to me. But some people, even till today, they find it very difficult. So we need to understand what we are doing. The scientific value of going to bed on time is that between 10 and 12, those are the most productive hours for body rejuvenation. If we don't miss it, just sleeping those 2 hours alone will give you strength to prosecute your day's activities. If you miss those 2 hours, you may sleep till even 8 o'clock. You still may not be able to have a balance that day. So going to bed on time is one of the first tricks. And then waking up on time is the second trick. And when you're chanting, say you start chanting with 2 rounds, you get stabilized on that. Go on with that for some weeks, and you see that you're stable on that before you make a decision to increase it. Then gradually you increase it, like that, gradually. Because sometimes we want to be so ecstatic, we are very excited about what we are doing and then want to jump. Not everyone is going to be able to chant, go to high number of rounds right in the beginning. But yes, this is the trick. First trick, go to bed on time. Second trick, wake up on time. And then get yourself stabilized on the number of rounds you're chanting before you move to the next stage of increment. Thank you. I think we can stop here.
Yeah, sure.
Okay. Srila Prabhupada.
His Holiness Bhakti Vasudeva Swami Maharaj ki jai. Thank you, Maharaj, for such a wonderful class.
Thank you.
I hope everyone loved it. I loved it. And with that, we have some books over here. That's all written by Srila Prabhupada, Guru Maharaj's guru. So please see if you want, if you have Bhagavad Gita. If you do not have Bhagavad Gita, please do see. You should have Bhagavad Gita at your home. There are a few kids' books over here as well. So please take a look. If you like any of the books, they are there for sale, and all the money that goes for the donation. Thank you so much. And if you have not eaten yet, if you're still hungry, the food is still there. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for coming on this weekday. I know how difficult it is with kids on the weekday to stay till this time. I'm so glad. I'm so happy that you guys are here. Thank you so much.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.